As educators, we are preparing our students for jobs that do not even exist yet. So how do we prepare them for those jobs? Well, it's definitely not by staying in the past and using the same teaching techniques that we used in the 1980s. Curriculum 21 stated that education in the United States must prepare students for a world where the opportunities for success require the ability to compete on a global scale. Now, I think one way that we can do that is by integrating technology. Technology has a purpose in the classroom. I think it's important to not use it too much or use it too little. I think there is a medium in the middle that we should be using technology, and as educators, I think that's a place where we are uncertain about. And so another thing in the text is that new kinds of schools and new kinds of curriculum create some insecurity. As a teacher, it's hard to feel confident in something that you're unsure about. And technology is one of those things. Yeah, I feel confident running the computer, running Excel, and making a PowerPoint and doing applications online. But that has nothing to do with how I can incorporate it in my classroom. And I think another big thing is when we think about incorporating technology, a lot of teachers think that, because I use a dot cam, then I am integrating technology. Or I use a smart board, I'm integrating technology. But in reality, that's not integrating technology. Integrating technology is what the students are doing. Are the students using the technology? And now that brings me to another point. Some may think that using a calculator is integrating technology. It depends on how you use it. There are applications on calculators that you can use where they can find, put a picture on the background and program different things and integrate technology that way, but it's not just punching numbers and then getting an answer. So I think it's a fine line about how we see incorporating technology, and that's another thing. We have to see it from a student's perspective. If we asked our students, are we integrating technology? They'd probably say no. And they'd probably say that in my class too, even though, there are some things that I integrate technology with Desmos and Kahoot and Plickers and that kind of thing. But it's not allowing them with that creativity that they need to be successful in the world with those jobs that we have no idea about. They need that creativity to improvise. And that brings me to another thing about technology is it takes away from our mathematical discourse. And I think it's so important to have it in the classroom. And yeah, you could probably have it on a chat in Desmos or that kind of thing where you can interact with other classmates. But in reality, how do we know those are our students' words? How do we know that they understand what they are saying by what they are typing? It's hard to ask them a question and see their response. Do they know it or do they not? And so I think that's important, that how do we integrate that mathematical discourse with technology? And that's something I struggle with because I'm kind of on the fence. How do I get that discourse if I'm not seeing it through technology? And so that comes with the unpreparedness. I just don't know. And so that brings me to my last point, and it's on page 161. And it says that colleges of education must include media literacy training in their teacher preparation courses. I just got done going through my training preparation courses at Tarleton. And it was a PD lab on side of my professional development. And it was made for integrating technology. But what we learned was how to use a smartboard, how to make a blackboard. How does that integrate technology with our students? What are our students doing? Are they using the technology? Are they using their creativity to build in that technology? No, they're not. And so that's something that in the preparation courses lacked. I, rarely heard about different apps. I had to learn from them from my peers, from my mentor teachers. And so that was something that was hard because I never knew about these different applications that were available. And that comes another thing is that with math, it's kind of a little bit more on the difficult side because with those technologies, it's hard to integrate formulas. And especially when you get into the higher, quadratics and solving for square roots and that kind of thing. How do we put that into the apps when they don't have the capabilities of using mathematical equations? And so if you know of any apps that would be beneficial to use in the mathematics classroom, please leave a comment with that app suggestion, and I would be glad to look at it. Thanks for watching.